Hello and welcome to a video from Explorations in Nature. In this video, we're going to look at some of the features you might find in a snowless winter landscape. It's a lesson in how to read the forest to appreciate more about what's going on around you. This video is from about a year ago, so the winter that's referenced is not the most recent winter at the time of this posting. Everything in this video, though, is something you could see any year, except maybe for the amount of pine cones. I'll follow up soon with a video from this year. And now, let's get out there.
Well, here's something that happened over the winter. Very large white pine tree at pretty much, not the exact beginning, but very early on the trail. Certainly to me, who've been walking this place for decades, a landmark, and half of it came down this winter. The wide angle makes it not easy to appreciate the size of this thing, so I'm going to go step into this for a second. You can get a better sense of maybe the size of that. It would take, I'm thinking, 3 adults to stand and reach their arms around the base of this tree. In its life, this tree has been weeviled a couple of times. The terminal shoot of the pine gets eaten by the pine weevil, and other shoots turn to become the trunk. And this happened down below here, and then also you can see that in the inset picture, but if we just move up a little bit and move in, we can see where it's been split again, right? And those are still going strong. Looking a little carefully at the break here, we can see that, it had some heart rot, some structural weakness, certainly, to this, that finally, maybe a gust of wind or something like that, finally brought it down. I'm going to reset a moment and show you a couple other things that are happening around here. So we can see here a younger pine, possibly during this event, otherwise not sure when. This wasn't bent over like this before this tree came down, I can say that. So this young tree has been bent over. It's young white pine, and eventually it will probably recover and the leader start to grow vertically again, especially now that there's been some canopy opened up by the fall of that trunk. And by the way, that trunk was live. There's plenty of needles on there. And just taking a look down the trunk to what used to be the top, again, you can see all the needles. This came down. It was live when it came down. There's been signs of something else too. Despite what happened to this pine tree, it's been a big year for pine cones, pine cone production, and therefore a big year for the critters that feed on the pine cones. And this downed log has made a great place for squirrels to sit and take apart these pine cones looking for seeds. And this log is just coated with these spots where they've done that. Let's come on in a little bit there. So you can see these are the individual brackets or scales on the pine cone that have been ripped off. And again, underneath there are seeds, and the squirrel has been extracting those. See if we can get back out. You can see to the right of that area was some more, and if I can sweep this log carefully, you can see some more. Looking up, and actually what we're seeing there, that split is yet another place where the tree had been weevilled in its life. And zooming in, that is just a mass of the bracts, the pine cone bracts left by the squirrel as it just dismantles the cones looking for those seeds. And we can see one of what's left of a pine cone after you've ripped off all the scales sitting there. So, and this is not the only log that has this, and again, this is all since this came down. I don't know exactly when over the winter, but this is just, this is over a period of maybe a couple of months that this stuff has accumulated. So that this has been a very popular place for a squirrel or maybe more to be sitting and processing their pine cones. Okay, taking another quick look at this pine that's been bent over. One thing I just want to point out that it's been bent over, it's been loaded basically by weight. It's bent over. Notice that it's curving upwards toward the sky. I think we'll see an example of a different situation in a little bit. Okay, so here we are on another section of trail. And you got the base of this tree, and there's a pile of something at the base of this tree. It's not going to be the same situation as the pine cones and the squirrels. Let's go have a bit of a closer look. I think as we get closer, we can see that this is sort of chips, wood chips, fairly large ones at that. And this is most certainly the work of a pileated woodpecker. And if we now investigate up the trunk of this tree, oh, there's a hole. And whoa, okay, there's one. And there's another one. Again, we can see from the yellowed wood that this is fairly recent. I think also maybe from the fact that those chips really haven't had time to get scattered. This is the work of a pileated woodpecker, and some of the sign that it can leave in at least its recent work. And now looking into the woods a little bit to the side of that tree with the pileated woodpecker, see a tree that's kind of looks like it leaned over a little bit. And, well, that's probably what happened. It might be that it was tipped by wind. I do wonder, though, because there's a lot of trees of similar size, I think. This actually looks a little bit bigger than the other ones, but there's a lot of other trees without that sign. Notice that in this case, it is curved away from the sky. It's concave upwards, kind of the curve is sort of pointing downwards toward, and that's indicating of being kind of pushed over for a bit. Again, it might have been wind, maybe something else. There's a larger tree, I think you can see to its side there, to its right. Maybe it was just sort of angling away from that a little bit. But this is what wind tipping can look like. Let's just put it that way.
I think we'll wrap it up here for now. Thanks for watching. Please give a like and tell your friends about this channel, and I'll see you soon in another video.